I've had this question quite a lot. How do you squeeze the daily dozen or simply enough nutritious plant foods into a restricted time window when practicing intermittent fasting? This video will answer the question and give you some extra tips as well. To make your life really simple, NutritionFacts.org has created the Daily Dozen app where you can easily tick all the necessary boxes. You have all the food categories listed and portion sizes explained. What if you wanted to eat the Daily Dozen following the recipes from whole food plant-based bloggers? How on earth would you know which boxes and how many to check with each recipe? I want you to know that there is a new kid on the block. That is the scientific meal planner that is in accordance with Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen recommendations. When I first heard about it, I really felt like jumping up and down because it's such a game changer for everybody starting out on whole food plant-based diet or simply looking to keep their plant-based diet healthy and balanced. So how does it work? Currently, you can choose between 366 whole food plant-based recipes from 18 bloggers, myself included. Each recipe is classified by the Daily Dozen categories they satisfy. Therefore, you are able to track how much a single serving of a recipe satisfies each of the Daily Dozen categories. Combine as many recipes as you like to compile your meal plan. And as a result, you get an ideally balanced meal plan. Excited? Simply sign up for a free account and you're ready to go. Intermittent fasting is considered anything from 12 to 20 hours. The most common time frame seems to be 16 hours. I personally practice 14-10, 10-hour eating window and 14-hour fast. Now, depending on the day, the fast flexes between 12 to 16 hours, but most often falling somewhere between 14 and 15 hours. I generally stop eating by 6:30 p.m., sometimes a bit earlier, sometimes a bit later, but always before 7 p.m. And so I start my mornings with 2 glasses of lemon water to rehydrate. Then I'm off to my morning walk, regardless of the weather. Anything between an hour or an hour and 20 minutes, depending on whether I had my strength training in the morning. This is not only a physical exercise, but also something for my mind. I do the strength training for 20 minutes 3 times a week. If you are interested in the particular exercises I do, let me know in the comments and maybe I will make a video about it. When I get back, I usually have a huge beer before the main breakfast. As I don't do well with grains in the morning, my breakfast is a low glycemic protein bowl. I must admit I'm so happy I finally found a breakfast that keeps my blood sugar stable. For sure, the strength training plays a role here as well, but this brekkie really is a game changer for me. And here's how I make it. I thaw some wild blueberries and add a heaping tablespoon of ground flax seeds to it. Next go in mesquite powder for sweetness, pumpkin seed protein powder, rosehill powder for vitamin C, then my favorite plain soy yogurt, and finally some oat milk. Now it's simply down to mixing it all together. You can adjust the consistency to your liking by adding more or less oat milk. And voila! A simple and quick breakfast bowl that will keep your head clear. But I'm not finished here. Let's add some vitamin D3 and K to my breakfast bowl. And here's my morning drugstore. Which supplements do I take? Algae-based omega-3s, an excellent antifungal and antiparasite supplement, as well as a good multivitamin by 𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐬, B12 obviously, and finally a liver supporting and hormone balancing supplement, calcium D-glucarate, that has helped me a lot. I wish I was perfect in every way, but I'm not. So instead of mindful eating, I do Spanish on Duolingo while I eat my breakfast. My first warm drink of the day is either dandelion or chicory root coffee. For more info, watch my previous video on caffeine-free drinks you can make at home. It's a perfect cuppa to have while I work. About an hour after I finished my breakfast, there's time for matcha latte. An hour because matcha can inhibit nutrient absorption. Again, watch how I make it in my previous video. Then I nibble on a few Brazil nuts for a daily selenium. And it's time for brunch. 2 slices of spelt sourdough bread with creamy coleslaw. If you can't have gluten, have any gluten-free bread instead, like my fermented buckwheat bread. Whole grain bread is a great way to get the grains in if you don't want to eat large quantities of food. And it's time for lunch, the largest meal of the day. Let's make the curry. I begin with mixing together water and curry paste, then adding soy milk and mixing again. Next, let's saute the mushrooms. Simply fry them dry, mixing occasionally. It will take about 5 minutes, but water starts to separate. Then add onion and saute for another few minutes. Add a splash of water if necessary. Now pour in the curry paste mix and stir. Then add baby spinach and cook until wilted. Spinach is a clever way to eat 2 servings of greens at one sitting. It's because it reduces enormously in volume when cooked. Turn off the heat and add black beans as well as edamame beans. Any beans would do, actually. Okay, let's put this bowl together. Starting with cooked roasted buckwheat, 50 grams dry weight. Then some cooked beetroot and the delicious curry we just cooked up. And final touches with some sprouts, avocado and sesame seeds. Ticking off leafy greens, fruits, other veggies, legumes, herbs and spices, and grains. Oh, and adding wakame for daily iodine as well. Now you can go wild here by replacing buckwheat with any other grain or pasta or bread even. The possibilities are endless. Now here's an excellent afternoon snack for you. 3 of those bliss balls made with black beans will tick off 1 legume serving. I have a separate video on how to make those balls. I also love those savory Mediterranean bites. The recipe will be in my low glycemic cookbook. I'll add the link to the description as soon as it's available. In the afternoon, I also enjoy a cup of herbal tea. We'll finish the day with this wholesome dessert that would tick off the 3rd box of legumes as well as what's missing from nuts and seeds, plus some extras. We begin with mashing chickpeas, adding oat milk when it gets too dry. You could also use a blender or an immersion blender, but I wanted to show you that it's totally doable without any special equipment. Now adding ground chia seeds and some more oat milk. Mixing well. Mesquite for sweetness. You could also use carob powder and end up with chocolatey dessert. Plain oat yogurt for creaminess. I found that my digestive system doesn't like soy yogurt in the evening, but oat yogurt is totally fine. And mixing again. Doesn't it already look so creamy and yummy? Gingerbread spice for extra flavor and boost. Now taste it for sweetness, and if you feel that you need more, add any preferred sweetener. I soaked some goji berries and add them on top. Did you know that goji berries are such a powerhouse? Some peanut butter because it's just so damn good and delicious. And finishing off with hemp seeds. Did you know that hemp seeds have an ideal ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s? And again, you can use other legumes to make this dessert, like white beans, even mung beans and black beans. And it's a wrap. What do you think? Can you eat all those meals in one day?